does it look like it's pixelated and blurry? Ha. It was dirty. Let's clean it a little bit more. Good and SONGAA, hello. How y'all doing tonight? Can you hear me all right? Mic check, mic check. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. This light, so. That's okay. Yeah, I got a new mic. Just getting out here to say hello to everybody. How's everybody doing? Hanging out in the office. I don't have a stand yet, but I'll be getting one eventually. Desk. Anybody got anything they want to talk about? No, it's been a minute since we all got on and said hi and my double hernia surgery today. Back home and doing okay. Yeah, I had the same thing happen to me. I had a hernia surgery and then I think it was like six weeks later, I had to go back in and have it redone again. And then like 6 months later, I had to go back in and do it again. I had to see a specialist to get it done. So I feel you, brother. I know the pain. I know what you're going through. You know, I had the same thing. My belly button came out, and then when they did my first surgery, they cut the side to the left of me, and it's about a gash like that, and then that tore open, and then my insides were hanging out, and they had to go back and redo it, and found out it was the mesh. They had to do a different mesh, but I know it's when I bend over or whatever, the mesh will pinch, and you can feel it, and then you can every now and then you can feel like if you stand up, whatever, you can feel it ripping. So. Know what you're going through. Been there. Yep. Broke both of my feet, not at the same time, but broke both my feet too, so I'm a hot mess. Got the room. Got the other cast over there. Got the one from Josh up there. And the ones I casted there. The big boy. Then Josh Miller, I don't know how you say it. But anyway, got stuff for Squash Top PA in there. The shirt I wore when I was out there. For my brother's channel. Yeah, she wanted to get out. She wanted to do more hunts too, whatever. We were thinking about doing more hunts, but the walk in, it's like downhill, uphill, downhill. And her feet were swelled up, so we did the one hunt. And it was pretty amazing. We got back there to the gifting tree. I laid out the gifts and Jackie laid out the gifts on the tree, whatever, and then right after that, I told them to come in or whatever. They did too. You can hear them all. Well, when we first walked in, you can hear them coming all different directions like they normally do me. But when I told them to come in and see her from spiritual form, now she's in the physical form there. They all came in, and then what's funny is the tree in front of us, you can hear it coming up to the tree, and then all of a sudden you see the tree do this. Like it took its hand and moved the bush, and then looked, and then it closed it back up. That was pretty amazing. That was pretty sweet. Yeah, it was a great time. They were definitely throwing stuff, doing like their normal thing. They were It was pretty amazing. It wasn't too bad. I thought it was pretty cool. Of course, the dogs were running around. They were keeping everything was keeping their distance though from the flashlight, but they were just staying right out of reach of the flashlight. But right up on us were, we knew where they were. When it did the tree thing, whatever, Mama, I'm pretty sure that's where Mama took the picture, and that's where you got the face of that one that's there. I'm pretty sure that's where she took the picture at. So that's on the private group, and then it's in Mama's chat room, Elder Medicine Bear Claw's chat room. But yeah, I heard it come running in. All of them, like you could see the eye shine. Like there was eye shine all around. Like you could see them coming from all different directions. You can hear them. You can hear them walking. They all. When I told them to come in and actually come and see her or whatever, and I have a look at her, they all moved in. And then that's funny because the bush shook. You can hear it coming, and you can hear it coming through the bush. And all of a sudden, the bush shakes, and then you see the bush do this, and then you can see it close back. It was pretty cool experience. Russell, how you doing? Just getting out here, man. I know we ain't done no chats in a while. I used to do them once a week, and then I just laid back or whatever because everybody said something about the audio and all that. But I got a new mic. I probably shouldn't move it because it'll probably make a bunch of noise. Here. You got a new mic for the channel. So I figure we try it out and see how it does. Does it sound good on your end, Russell? Does it need to be turned up? Is it too loud? Does it need to go down? I know when I was playing with it in the chat, it was pretty loud. I can turn it up and down. Sounds good to you? All right. Sounds good to you? All right. I don't want it to be too loud or like staticky or anything like that. So this is just an outside light, well, a reptile light that I had laying around. So I set it in the room. I got the light on above me, but it doesn't put out that much light. This room here was the room that I set up for Mama Bear Claw when she came up. It has Biggie's artifacts all up and down the wall, which is going to be, I'm thinking I'm going to turn it into the office. And I'm going to get a desk and get my logo. I seen Walgreens, you can print posters or whatever, so I'm going to make my logo and put it on the other wall. I'm thinking about starting up a podcast channel and, or just a channel just to get on there and talk to everybody. You guys got any questions you want to anything about? No, anything? Anything you guys want to talk about? Good. I want to talk about something too. I went through the videos of when I put out a couple of the two-way mirrors or whatever, but nothing showed itself. Don't mean we're gonna give up though. I got a couple more nano cams, whatever. I'm thinking about making them bigger though, because the nano cams, they don't last that long. The batteries last maybe like a half an hour to 45 minutes. So, but what I got an idea is I'm gonna take and use like 2x4 framing, and then put get picture frame or whatever to fit it, and then make a new box or whatever, and put the trail cam around the tree, and make a strap that straps the box around in the front of the trail cam, so that way the trail cam, the battery, they last a long time. You can leave them out in the field for like a month, 2 months sometimes, depending on how much action you get. You can leave them out there, for a while. So that's the next thing I'm going to be working on, getting them out there, because I made the little ones. They're like this big, whatever, and They nothing. I mean, you get like the occasional like foxes and deer and stuff go by, but nothing where it's checking it out. But we're gonna try it the other way and see how that works. Hello, CP. Yeah, I'm thinking that it will because the other cameras, like I said, you can only leave them out there for like a half an hour, 45 minutes before they die or whatever, and it's not like the grainy or whatever. It's not as pixelated. It's not like real quality, good pictures or whatever. So my idea, put the trail cam to the tree, build the box around the trail cams, and then put the trail cam or the strap the trail cam, or the box around the trail cam. And I'm taking that to work because I can make bungee cords, or you know I use the strap from one of the other trail cams, and if anything, we'll have a couple of them out there. So you'll be seeing them out there in the hot spot coming up here shortly because I'm gonna point them out when we're doing our. I'm gonna go away in the trail, and show you guys where they're at and all that. So that good as Otto can see, he's he inspired me to do it. So he's like, Biggie, remember that two-way mirror you've been talking about? You should do it. So he sent me the paper to do the film or whatever for him. So I'm gonna get them all looking good out there. John T, what's up, buddy? Gotta tell you something, bro. Biggie's got some little miniature people hanging out there in the hot spot, man. Kind of like what you showed me that picture of. Mama came through and seen some stuff out there, so the it is no longer out there. I don't want to say the full name. There's no. I don't know if I could say the name, but I guess I'll say it. There's no Wendigos. There's no bad. There's 5 male ghost spirits, and 2 female spirits. One of them we have a picture of, the old lady, which is kind of awesome. So there's 7 spirits all together that hang out there. Human spirits. And there's, of course, there's a lot of Sasquatches out there, and cryptid creatures, and fairies, and but you guys seen the pictures, you guys seen the videos, we got some good stuff. Like every investigator that does Bigfoot hunts or whatever, everybody wants a body. That's not happening because me, I'm not doing that, so we're just gonna I mean, I've already proved that they're real, like we got so many pictures and all that, and it's unreal, so. Hello, how you doing? I don't know how you say your name. Shh. I'll just say Shell. I don't know how you say your name. I'm not that good at reading. Shh. It's like shh. Like shh. Let's see. Shh. Shalish. Shalisha. Like Shalisa. How you doing? Just getting on here, just chatting with everybody. I ain't done it in a while. Done a chat, whatever, live chat. I might not even upload it after we're done. I might just, but I'm just getting on here, hanging out with the family and all that, and seeing if anybody got anything they want to talk about and all that. So, I ain't been doing that many hunts though. But I've tried to tell people the reason why. I've been laying back because I go out there and I interact with them without the cameras. They come up to you more. They interact more, and then not only that, I don't want to be out there 24/7 because I know that I get irritated with people that come over like every day, like nonstop, over and over and over. So I know if I would get irritated, they would get irritated too. So they've been uh, they've been coming here on the regular. So people are like, well, why don't you set up cameras? Well, we've done that. They avoid them, so it doesn't work. The weather here is rainy. Let's see if I can pop the curtain open. It is rainy. You see it out there. It's kind of nasty looking. Well, it's rainy here. It's not too cold. It's tolerable, but it's wet enough where you don't want to get your cameras out there and get them wet, or be out there and get struck by lightning or something. Looks like it's raining all over the world. Rain today. Oh man, yeah. I got some of the cool stuff, behind me, guys. Of course, you guys, everybody that follows the channel knows about the little gift they sent me. That's sage in there, and then this here is a plant they left. It was roses, some kind of berry. They wrapped it in a vine, and I'll tell you what they put in the middle of it, because I figured other people would probably make one or whatever, and they didn't. So they left a stick in the middle and another stick or whatever for a cigar for smoking. So, which is amazing. You can see. Let's see if I can get it in there. Let's see if I get the light up on it. You can see the stick, and you can see the cigar piece in there. That's what the brown piece is in there. That's what they gifted. I'd have to go outside and get it, but when Mama was here, it was kind of neat. When I went to the hot spot, and after I gifted them, they gifted me that. The next day, me and Chris went to the hot spot, and we found a rock that looked like a heart that was right there. As soon as you come up to the gifting tree, there was a heart rock sitting there. And Chris picks it up and he says, I think they left you a rock. And it was in shape of a heart, which I thought was kind of neat. Well, Mama was here, and I mowed the lawn and all that, took care of all the housework, whatever, before she got here. Because I didn't want to have to do all that, while she was here or whatever. So I go on the side of the house where my room is, where they always look in the window right there, where I've been face to face with one of those that follow the channel, and they left a smaller heart-shaped rock. It was pretty sweet. So my ideal is wow, now I'm gonna be looking at all the rocks that I see when I go buy them and all that, because I'm gonna try to find another heart-shaped one, because I don't want to gift them the same ones back, because I think once they touch them and all that, they charge them up, like they give the energy to the rock and all that. But I'm going to try to find one, a heart-shaped rock, and then I'm going to gift it back to them at the gifting tree. So that's what I want to do. But you guys can see, like, here on let me have a little turn around. We have different rocks that we got, like up here. Rocks that we find when we go out. All different kinds of cool rocks. We find ones that have fossils in them. We just collect them, ones that have fossils. But we have a lot of them all through here. And the ones that are dear to me, that they throw and all that, are, you can see them on the corners of, each one of them over there. Then were all the rocks that they throw. at the cameras, like the one from the hot spot, the rock that they threw. It was midway in the night vision goggles where it came over. I went back right to the same spot. There was only one rock there. It was quartz. I picked it up. The one that hit me in the back when I was fishing, I got that one. The one that we found at Fort Custer where the deer was mutilated or whatever that was killed. There was that round rock, which that was awesome. It had blood stains on it, so I figured they threw it at it and killed that animal. Let's see. One of them, another one is one that they gifted me at the gifting spot. Um, Another one, I know that's the one they left me on the front step. And another one is where did that one come from? I can't remember where that one came from. There was another one I got somehow. I can't remember. It's been a while. I don't remember where that one came from. I don't know if that's the one that hit Chris or not. I don't remember. Once I look at them, pick them up, it automatically just pops in my head where it came from. I ain't touching them yet, so. But I noticed that the ones that they throw at you, the ones that they leave you, and all that are usually quartz, which is pretty sweet. Actually, I just drove through Yankee Springs 2 days ago. I just drove through there with the Great Outdoors Biggie Jeep or whatever. I got an X-Ray that says the Great Outdoors on the door, and it has Bigfoot stickers all around it. It's red and black. Yeah, I just drove through there just 2 days ago. Yep, I go up to Yankee Springs. We did a night investigation there at the Devil's Soup Bowl, and I got a $135 ticket for being in there after hours or whatever. And I've done 4 or 5 videos. Like there's 3 of them that I can't upload because I can't get them off the phone. And there's one that the card or SD card is corrupted or whatever when we were driving through there to get to the spot where the one they always do this to the cards anyway. But anyway, they went across the Bigfoot went across the trail in front of the truck, and we have dash cams. And when the Bigfoot went across the truck, it hit the other side. And when we were pulling up, I said, "Hey, Chris, the Bigfoot just jumped right there," and he didn't see it because he was too busy watching the side of the trail going up to make sure he wasn't like running over stuff to pop his tires. So anyway, we're going up this steep hill, and I watched it jump from one to the other. And when we got to the top, you could see where the print was, and the print fell, like the sand fell from the print. And I told him, I was like, "I told you I just seen one," and it was pretty amazing. And we had it on video and all that, but they wiped the cards, so something they do, and you can't get it back. Like I've tried and tried and tried and tried, and nothing. The card itself, the SD card itself, I was going to try to put in another camera. I was like, "Oh, I can just format it and all that." The card's garbage. Will not work whatsoever. But yeah, I go up to Yankees every now and then. There's actually some pretty good. Like I got a video on the YouTube channel. It's called the Devil's Soup Bowl. We were doing a night hunt there, Bigfoot investigation. That's when the Bigfoot ran on the trail when I was going from the Devil's Soup Bowl, going back around on the main trail above the Devil's Soup Bowl, and the one goes across the trail at nighttime and taps me on the shoulder, and then you could feel the wind and tap tap, and then it went from one side to the other. We have videos of it ducking down. Mud's got videos where it went out in front of him because he was with me. He got scared and came back to me. Yeah. He says, "My last video I was up there, a baby squatched through a hatchet at me. Wasn't real though." Yeah, they throw stuff at me all the time. Like that's how I think they're like they want to get your attention. Like if you're looking or whatever, and they can sense you, like you're a good person and you like to look for them and all that. They'll throw rocks. They'll throw they throw sticks. A lot of times they throw sticks, they throw rocks. Sometimes I'll be filming or whatever, and you don't hear it. Like, you don't hear the rock being thrown. And then when you come back and you upload the audio and you're listening to it, then you hear it. So that's pretty neat. So I take it you're from around here, whatever. You like the Sasquatch hunt? Maybe we should hit up or whatever and do one together. Sad part is I just made a native. I made a native spear or whatever. I done a spear up, and I just did a hatchet too that I found of a rock that was in a hot spot. Maybe I'll grab it and show it to you guys on the channel. This is stuff that I like to do. Keep carrying on my drink. Well, check this out. I use feathers that I find from when I go out and about. I find feathers, swan feathers, ducks, turkey feathers. And then instead of using beads, I use walnuts that I find in the yard to do them. I wrap the feather, whatever, with thread. And then I found a marble. So I took a piece of wire and I wrapped the marble, the wire around the marble and hooked to it too. So this is just a piece of fur that I found. You can buy the fur like this or whatever at Walmart. This is a piece of cordage that I used in PA. So it's pretty good at cordage, and I just made my own tomahawk, shaved the stick down, and did it up. And it's not coming off. It's not. You see, it's not moving. I'm putting some good force on it, So you can use it. It is functional. I got the string still hanging down here because I'm going to add some more. I want to find more walnuts. I want to do walnuts all the way down, and tie it. But what y'all think? Pretty neat. Anybody can do this, It's crafty. Just something I like to do in my spare time. Read comments, please. Oh, I messed up. Yes, you can put her channel up. I don't mind. Yeah, I can check it out and all that. Yeah, if Shell, if you want to put your channel up, go ahead and we can check you out. Oh, there she goes. CP did it for you. She's got you up on there. Anybody want to check her out? Go ahead. I'll definitely check you out too. So. Anybody got anything they want to talk about though? Anything to do with cryptid encounters? Anything really? It don't matter. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about, as long as it ain't nothing too bad where I get kicked off the air and all that, So nothing too personal like that. But anything you want to talk about. Oh, because you're not a mod here, you can't share links. Well, one of my people already took care of it for you, CP. She's awesome. She took care of it. You're up there now, so. So you gotta take it. You do Sasquatch hunting too. That's what I'm taking it. So if you do Sasquatch hunting, you get into Bigfoots, Dogman, fairies, mythical creatures, because the dogs run with. Oh, I can do that after I'm done. She's in the kitchen. Sounds like she's washing dishes or something. I hear pans banging around. Nah, fat wood hunting. I have a dogman video from up on Luther last fall. All right, I'll check that out. What's fat wood? Is that like driftwood or whatever in a way? I do mushroom hunting too, though. I get out every now and then. I gotta found some morels coming up. Me and Chris, we find morels all the time. We go out mushroom hunting. Yeah, I figured it was something like that, like the opposite of driftwood, but it's kind of like driftwood in the woods. Nice. You make stuff out of them? Yeah, we got to do a little bit of them. I dehydrated them already. I put them in dehydrated because normally I freeze them, whatever, but they don't last as long. So I found out if you dehydrate them, they last a long time. So I like to dehydrate them now. This is Raha, a locator call they use. I don't know. I always hear them when the Sasquatches get my attention or whatever. They always do this ooh, ooh. It's almost like ooh, I see you, you know, like ooh. So I always hear ooh, 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 ooh. That's what they do. Ooh, like ooh, I see you. It's almost like ooh, but you got to do like that. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It's like ooh, ooh. They do it like different pitches. That's what they do a lot of here, or they do a lot of the whistles. Like, see if I can get it. It's almost like ooh, 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 ooh. Like, but it's like slower, you know. But I don't do whistling no more out there, so they the dogs, when you get close to them, they growl or whatever. But sometimes you can't hear it. Like sometimes you'll hear the growling, and sometimes you don't. So I don't always hear the low growls that the dogs do. Hey mama, Mama Medicine Bear Claw is in the house. How are you? I wasn't gonna text her. I was going live, but she said she was gonna take a nap. She said, "What are you doing in my room? Hanging out in here, smelling the pillows? Nah, I'm in here hanging out. It's quiet." Told everybody about that Sasquatch that came up on us or whatever. When well, they all came in, but the one that came up to the bush and you could see it moved the bush, and then like it closed, which was pretty neat. That happened to us out there. Then I showed them this that I made from the hotspot. Just getting out here talking to people or whatever. Just ain't talked in a while. Got a new mic. Finally went out and found this bad boy for $7.29. Sorry, I moved it again. I don't have a desk are not set up, so could have used the table in the other room, but the wife was doing dishes and banging around stuff, so pans or whatever. So I didn't want everybody hearing that. Yeah, they were. I figured that once you get settled in, you rest up and all that, we can do a podcast or whatever, and talk about it together, live stream. Somebody gave me an idea too. I want to try out too. I'm gonna get some keys or whatever. Somebody said something about when you're walking the trail or whatever. Just um, we're gonna try this out on the channel too. Somebody else will probably steal it now because I'm saying it, but we're gonna take a set of keys. So if anybody wants to hit me up a messenger and like, hey, I got some old keys, I'll send you or whatever. But anyway, I want to get like a couple, like a good, good handful of keys, whatever, and put them on a key ring. And then when you're walking, drop the keys and see if they pick them up and bring them here, or when we come back through, if they're laying there, whatever, like drop them on the way in, and then see if they're still there on the way out, or if they picked them up and moved them. Another thing I want to try too is, we'll do it on the channel too, is I want to take a flashlight and just like sit down and just get up and leave the flashlight and then walk away and leave it on and see if they take it or move it, or maybe you'll see it going through the woods or something. Something different to try. We'd already tried the fish thing with the bowl. That was a hit though. They actually took some of the fish, so that was pretty cool to try out when we tried that out. They took the keychain I made. Oh, that's where see, I was wondering where my dad's choke collar was, and I turned it into that bead thing I made, and I left it for the Sasquatches. Now I know where it went. Sparky, what's up, buddy? Sparky's another good channel to go check out, guys. Sparky's Paranormal and Outdoors. Anybody got any questions they want to ask or anything they want to talk about? Just throw it up and we can give some. I give people, like, I gave a few other channels and people that just don't have channels that are just doing it, and people that have other channels that I don't really like stay in touch with like that on the other channels, but they ask me questions all the time. I give them my knowledge. It's free. I don't charge for it. A lot of questions I get asked is, are Sasquatch real? Yes. And then I'll clear that up because I'll tell them, well, do you believe in God? And they're like, yeah. It's like, well, because they always tell me they're not real. How do you believe in something you've never seen? And I've seen them, so I don't have to, believe in something I ain't seen. I've seen them more than once. So, but I always ask them, well, have you seen, you believe in God? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, you ain't never seen him, so you believe in something that you ain't never seen. But yeah, it's all over the world and blah, blah, blah. And everybody, believes in God. And I'm like, well, hieroglyphics, stuff on mountains and caves and what they call that, it's like a hieroglyphic, but it's the other thing, whatever. But anyway, they draw Sasquatches all over the world, and all Sasquatches have been seen in every part of the world. So, EVP, how you doing? Yeah, her son did amazing on her band concert. That's nice. Mama threw the live up on there for you. That's good. I'm doing all right. I'm doing pretty good. Mama Bear Claw was leaving out, so Biggie got up in the morning, whatever, before everybody else got up and sat on the porch, had my coffee, and did my crying goodbye so Mama wouldn't see me cry. And then after she got on the plane, I was walking to the truck, and Biggie cried. I don't like to cry in front of people, so it cheered me up. But I was glad that she came out. The time that we got to spend together, it was pretty amazing. It was a good time. I think by the time Mama left, I was probably a couple 100 pounds more heavier. Yeah, Mama cooks good. Always good to have Mom around cooking. But yeah, it was pretty neat, Dad. This is the room I set up for Mama when she was here. Got her own room. This was Mama's room. You know, I had to do it up, make it look pretty. Even went out and bought a new fan so that way if she got hot, you know. Had AC too, ready to go. She had her own TV, bed, big size bed. Queen, well, it was not too big. It's not what she's used to, but it was a queen size bed. So went out and picked that up. The bed frame and all that. Even though, you know, she don't use it, but I even dug out a walker just in case she needed it. Dug out a cot, whatever, when her friend came up to see her. But Mama says she ain't using walkers no more. I even dug out another cane for her. I didn't know she would bring her, so. Trying to make her feel comfortable. As comfortable as she could be. Let's hear about some of the spiritual stuff you have gone through, Bigfoot or other. Okay. I'll tell you something, Sparky. I was out in PA or whatever when I got out there. I went out on a hunt out there. And you see how they showed, if you follow the channel, Mama went out with me here. They showed her mad respect. When I got to PA, they showed me mad respect. I went out my first night there. Steven, whatever, he kept coming up over the hill waving and, you know, doing this little thing going down. Then down the hill when I first got there, I seen a Sasquatch just sitting there. It was doing this number and it was eating like this. And then I go, Josh, there's a Squatch sitting right there. And Josh, I don't think Josh seen it at first. He's like, where? I'm like, halfway on the hill, it's sitting down. I'm like, Josh, right there. And then I wanted to go take the camera and go to raise up like this to film it. It tucked and rolled and it went right into the bush and it was gone, so I couldn't even get it on film. But another thing that happened was at his house, I watched this red squatch. It was coming across the field. It churned, you know, it was almost like the Patterson film, which was kind of cool, like how they talk about squatches. You know, they're walking like this, and all of a sudden it turns like this, because it can't turn its head like this, you know, like turn its head. So it turned his body, and it looked at me, but it did it like a slant, like this a little bit slanted, so I could see it slanted, and it seen me. Then all of a sudden it just disappeared and cloaked, right in midair. It was just like boom, it was there, boom, it was gone. And then I watched it go. After that, you could kind of see you can still see the silhouette of it because they kind of look like what I say predator. So you can still see it kind of moving. And I got them good eyes or whatever. And it sat down beside this trailer like thing or whatever, a shed or trailer or whatever. And it was sitting there and it was just rocking and it was just eating and it's just moving around and it's rolling around on the ground, grabbing stuff off the ground and eating, watching me. And then it would uncloak. And then it would cloak, and then it would uncloak, and then it would cloak. That was something that was amazing when I seen that. And then when I was actually in PA, like at the hot spot in PA, that was in PA, but we were on the other side of PA, and I was at Squash Top Base headquarters, base camp. When I was down there, I had one come out of I said, I told it to manifest itself. We were doing EVPs. I said, manifest yourself, show yourself. You know, I got what I asked for because it came out of a tree and slithered like a snake out of a tree like this, and then it popped his head up right in my face. And I wasn't expecting it. Like you could see the eyes, but the eyes were kind of like ghost eyes in a way because they were like, and then the face and the cheek was out like a little bit like, like this, They do like almost like a football is the way I explain it. And I jumped back and I said, "Oh shit!" I was scared. It scared was. I wasn't like scared, but it startled me. I guess in a way to say it. So I stepped back and I was like, "Oh shoot," But I said the other word. But when it did that, it slithered back into the tree the same way it came out. It went just like this, all smooth like a snake, right back into the tree. And it was pretty neat. I asked for it, I got it. But on the EVP, they call me a screamer and all that. So, I guess you get what you ask for. And then another spiritual thing that happened, which is kind of weird, is this is how I know they can read your mind. I'm sitting in the chair, and we're at base camp, and I hear this walking up on me, and it comes right beside me, the footsteps, and it stops right here on the right side of me. And I said, "I can hear you, and I know you're standing right next to me." And it said to the EVP, "Oh, you can hear me?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I can hear you. I heard you walk up on me before you even got to me." And then it said, we were talking to EVPs. It said it can change the temperature, it can lower the temperature to cold. So we told it to do it, and we got cold, so we had to start a fire. And then I said, well, Josh says, "Well, it's cold out here." And it says, "Well, we can change it back to warm if you'd like." So then we're like, "Yeah, do it." So then they did that. So we didn't need our jackets no more and all that. They changed the temperature to warm. And then that's when the one that was like a spiritual form, it was hovering above us or whatever, floating in the air, which was kind of weird. It looked like a spirit. But anyway, it said, I asked them if they would, if I could feel them or something like that. But anyway, I put my hands out like this, and it put its hands on my hands. And I said, "Ooh, I can feel that. It just got colder." And the EVP says, "Oh, you can feel that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can feel that." So it moved its hands away. And I said, "Oh, I see you took your hands off from me." And they said, "Oh, you can feel that?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." And it put its hands back on me. I said, "Yeah, now you got your hands back on me." And they didn't question it. They kept thinking I was like a witch. They kept telling me that I was like a witch. But I'm like, I'm not a witch. But it was pretty cool stuff that happened. And then I also had the dog come up when I was there. It rolled over like in submission, like dogs do, upside down on its back. And I went to go pet it. And then, my brother grabbed my hand, whatever, pulled it back and was like, "Don't touch it. You shouldn't touch them." I'm like, "Well, it rolled over like I could, So that was pretty good things that happened to me out there. Biggie, could you talk about the feelings of what it was like when you are in touch with them or feel them? Okay, this is what happens when they come up on me or whatever and all that. Like they have this charge that they give off. It's like a electrical field. It's almost like I feel the same thing when I walk on any power lines, but I don't know if it's just me or if it's just But when you go on any power lines, you can hear the zzz, and sometimes you can feel the electricity from it. But anyway, when they're around, the hairs on my body will stand up. Like there'll be goosebumps, or whatever, and the hairs will stand up. It'll charge my body, and I can feel that. Plus, it gives you like not a headache, but the way they say it's kind of like a headache. You'll feel like pressure on your head, and then it's kind of like a headache, but it's not a headache, and you can feel the energy change. Plus, like if I'm in the hot spot, I feel that same stuff, but there's also a different one. You get the feeling, and it automatically just comes on you like, "Sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me," and that's how you know they're around. That's what they do. That's how they charge me. That's how I feel. And then the more that I'm out there, the more that they take the energy from me. So it like drains your body physically. So it'll make me tired sometimes for 2 or 3 days. I have to just relax because they'll pull the energy from your body, from your flashlights, from everything you have, and your body will get drained. That's why we always tell you to keep like an apple or eat like a piece of chocolate. Like you see me when I take apples, I'll bite the apple and I'll set it down, or I eat the piece of chocolate and I set it down. I do that to teach them that. Well, I do that so I'm telling them, hey, it's not poisonous, because I wouldn't eat it myself, and I wouldn't just pick a random one and eat it if it was poisonous. So I show them that it's not. Plus, I do it too because they drain me, and then that helps build you back up, But that's what happens. It says, have a good night, y'all. Long day. Okay, see you later, buddy. Let's see. If you've been zapped, because it sucks, could you explain to people what it's like? Okay, I'll tell you what happened when I got zapped. When I got zapped, it feels like the energy drains from you, like you want to pass out, kind of like. And then what it does is, say like you've been in this spot a million times. You could have been there a million times, and like I'm saying, like I'm just giving an example. You can be in this spot and know this spot, but when they zap you, you get disoriented in your head. So you're like, man, where am I? And you're like freaking out, and you're trying to figure out where you're at, what looks familiar. It's almost like you're lost, and you start panicking, and you're trying to figure out but you're in a spot that you know what I'm saying? So, but you're just like, oh man, and then you're trying to find your way out. And then sometimes it could take 5 minutes, it could take a half an hour, it could take longer. Chris said, because he got zapped too, whatever, he said, do you know where we're at? Me being me, I joked it off or whatever, and I was like, well, yeah, we're in the woods. We're in the hot spot, And I didn't want to show, that I didn't want to tell, hey, I was zapped, and I didn't, I was lost too, I just blew it off. And then I said, my mind is, the woods ain't that big enough, so no matter which way you walk, as long as you keep going forward, you're going to come to either a trail or the road, So, yeah, when I got zapped, yeah, you're confused. Yeah, that's the best way to explain it. You're confused, you're lost, but when that happens, keep you an apple, whatever, and take the bite of the apple, eat you something. Just calm yourself down. You know what I'm saying? Like if you get zapped, calm yourself down, make yourself calm, and then, get your bearings together, figure out, actually really figure out where you're at, and then, then you'll be all right. But the best thing to do is when you get zapped, is just to calm yourself down. But if this happens to you or whatever, you need to get your protection bag, because I go out with this and I don't get zapped. But I'm telling you, I messed up one time and I didn't take it. And Mom was like, "You don't have your bag on." I was like, "Yeah, I know, but I'm not going back to the house to get it." I hate to tell you guys, it was the biggest mistake I ever did, because when I didn't do that, I got zapped again. So if you go out or whatever, always make sure you have your bag. I'm telling you, get these bags. Ghost hunting, Bigfoot hunting. I'm telling you, the bags work. And then like Mama, she keeps bear root right on the top of the bags. So you pull your bear root out and you just take a little bite, like she's saying in the comments. Take a little bite of that bear root and just calm yourself down, relax, and find your way. But yeah, if you keep having it and you keep getting zapped or whatever, I'm telling you, you guys need to get a bag. All you gotta do is get a hold of our medicine bear claw, hit her up, get you a medicine bag. They're worth every penny. They're worth every penny. You can ask other channels. There's The Unknown. There's ODU. There's a whole bunch of them out there right now. Like I can't even name them all. Like there's Cameraman. There's me. There's Chris. I got Chris one because he got zapped or whatever. After he wears his bag every time. He don't go out there without his bag. He puts his bag on. He goes out. I'm telling you guys, you got to get a bag. See, so many are very scared of Bigfoot. Not saying you should not be um, worried, but if they like you and allow you to be there with your medicine bag from Elder Medicine Bear Claw, could you explain the harmony? Harmony? Okay, like I tell people all the time, like I try to sit there and tell them, like, you're not scared when you're out there doing and all that. You do get scared. Like I go out alone. You guys see that. If I was to sit there and tell you that I'm not afraid sometimes, I'd be lying. A lot of times I tell myself I'm not afraid because I don't want to scare myself. But I always tell every channel that hits me up, they're always like, Biggie, how do you know they're not going to attack you? How do you know they're not going to kill you? How do you know they're not going to do this? Because I'm going to tell you straight up. If they wanted to do that stuff to you guys, the first moment they seen you, the first moment you were in them woods, they would have already did it. Bigfoots know the law like we know the law. You can't kill other humans. It's against the law. It's against the religion. They don't kill either. They know that they're just like us. They're human. They're humanoid just like us, and they know the law. Now you got to take that with a grain of salt, though, because if somebody was doing harm to your family, you have the right to defend yourself. So if you're doing harm to them, they have the right to defend themselves. That's why a lot of the groups I hear, some of the groups saying, "Oh, it tried to attack me." I said, "Well, quit trying to shoot at it. Quit trying to mess with its family members. Quit trying to kill it. What'd you do to it to get it to do that? So, you know, as long as you ain't trying to harm them and you ain't thinking, like they can mind read. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They can mind read. When that one walked up beside me and I said, "Oh, I can hear you next to me," I wasn't speaking out loud. It came across the EVP or whatever and said, "Oh, you can feel me." I'm like, "Well, yeah, I can hear you and feel you." I didn't say that out loud. It just came across the EVP that it mind read me, and that's how I talk to it. You can communicate through your mind to them. They can mind speak. So if you're thinking about doing harm to them and all that, they can read your mind. I lose a lot of people because they're all like, "Oh, I don't believe in the mind speak. I don't believe in them cloaking. I don't believe in this." Well, I'm just telling you straight up. Believe in it because it happens. The stuff happens. Stuff I'm telling you is real stuff that happens. So if you don't believe in cloaking, you don't believe in the mind stuff and all that, well, hey, I don't know what you're hunting or whatever, or what you're investigating or whatever, but that's what they do. Sometimes you can see them when they cloak. Like I see them when the night that Mama was up here and all that, and me and Jackie was in the yard. The one went across the top of the roof. You could see it. It looked like the predator running right across the top of the roof. I mean, and sometimes they're cloaked or whatever. You don't see them. Like sometimes I keep telling people they're like the cloaking build. I call it. See, everybody calls it cloaking, but me, I call it mirror imaging because they can blend in like a chameleon. They can blend in and be like the color of the stuff they're around. They can also just disappear. There's a bunch of different ways that they can, just vanish. So me, I call it mirror imaging because they can do more than one kind of cloak ability. They can do a bunch of cloak abilities. So, okay, when you wear your protection medicine bag, the Bigfoots know that you're protected from medicine person. When I wear my bag, when I go do a hunts, yes, they know I'm protected. They know that it's been prayed over by Medicine Bear Claw. They know that I am protected out there. When I have my bag on, I don't get zapped. Like I used to get zapped all the time. Like it was on a regular. It was to the point where I almost thought about quitting, like shutting my channel down, like quitting, like just saying screw it. But then I got a hold of Mama Bear Claw, and I asked her. I said, "Hey, this is happening, and all that." And she says, "Hey, I can help you out." And I was like, "Oh yeah?" She says, "Yeah, you need one of my protection medicine bags." And I was like, okay, like I was thinking like I don't know what that's gonna do, but after I got it, and then the powers and all that, there's no doubt. If you're getting zapped and stuff's happening, you need a medicine bag. You need a protection bag. And that's the only thing to say. I mean, if you're getting zapped and stuff's happening to you, you need to get a hold of that woman and get one. Yes, you do. You need to get a hold of Medicine Bear Claw. Elder Medicine Bear Claw. I keep saying it wrong because I'm saying it too fast, but yeah. Like I was getting zapped really bad, and I got a hold of her, and I was telling her stuff that was happening, and then there's other stuff, like when it came around, I asked her, hey, what do you do? I need to figure out this. And then she's like, well, try this and this and this. Well, she didn't say try. She said, do this and this and this. I say try because I'm saying it, my way. But she said, do this and this and this. And I did it. It's gone. And then I do it when I go out. I do the sea salt, which I use the pink salt. I use the river water. I do that. I miss myself. I have a bottle of it. I keep it. I did that for a while. I took the fish out because the EVPs, the Bigfoots, told me to bring them a fish, and they said it needs to be the whole fish. So I was like, okay. So I went and caught a fish, threw it in the bucket, took it to them. Next thing I know, that creature's gone. So I don't have to worry about it. They took care of it. With Mama doing her thing and them doing their thing, that thing is gone. And then I was doing the owl call, which you guys see them up there. There's one there, and then the other one on the other side over there. I was doing the owl calls, and I was watching another channel, and they were doing owl calls. They do them on a regular all the time. And a native told them, don't be doing the alcohol, whatever, that's what's calling that it in. I was like, huh. And then Mama, it was kind of funny because it was like the next day, Mama was like, hey, I talked to the council, and the council says every time you do that alcohol, you're calling that it back in, kind of like whistling. So then I just did stop doing the alcohol. And now I don't have no more problems with the it. So Mama figured that out. I watched a video on it too, which was kind of weird because it was like I watched the video, and then the next day she said the same thing as what I watched in the video of another native that was helping another couple that was having problems with it. And I was like, makes sense. And then the council was like, well, we see every time he does that the it comes in. So they told me to stop doing the call. I stopped doing the call. I don't have no problems with the it. So if you're having problems with calling, like, no whistling, try not to do owl calls. Whoops are okay and stuff like that, but it's just, if you don't want to call other weird creatures in, don't do that. Okay, we, the medicine people, can heal and protect those from bad spirits. Yes, you can. I had, not to say nothing bad or whatever, I don't really like talking about it. I mean, I'll tell you guys because you got a family. I had a spirit in the house, and I didn't think the spirit was too nice or friendly, should I say. I called Mama on the phone, and I said, hey, Mom, I need help with the spirit. And she was like to her, it was like nothing. It was like, okay, I know what to do. Put me on, video, get your sage out, and walk me into each room, each window to each corner of the room or whatever, and we got to do this through the house, and we got to go through the front. And then she said, you got to go to this room, and she told me all the way through it, and she did it her native language. I don't know. The best way to say it's like, how when a preacher comes in and they do the Bible or whatever, and they bless the house or whatever, Mama did it in her native language, and I no longer have problems with the spirit in the house. She sent me some sweetgrass and some other stuff, and she says, SONGAA, you need to put this here and do this here, do this and do that. I did it. My house feels 100 lifted. Like this, I have it no longer in the house. Mama came here and she's like, yeah, I don't feel it. It's not here. I'm like, cool. So I'm just saying, I had a problem with something that was here, and Mama took care of it, and I don't have the problem no more. Let's see. Biggie, you have a lot of old pictures on your Facebook account too that show some old strange stuff, right? What's your Facebook name? My Facebook name is The Great Outdoors Biggie. Um, so you can check that out. The Facebook is The Great Outdoors Biggie. We have a private room too, which is The Great Outdoors Biggie, but it's the Facebook chat group page. But you have to become a member to get in that. And there's more stuff in there that I don't put on our page on the Facebook page. So if you want to be a part of that, like I've added you to the private room already, Sparky, and then I have a Facebook page that you can check out. But not everything's on that page that's in the room. And yes, I have some old stuff. Like I've had pictures, like I've had another channel that cracks me up. Oh, nobody's got pictures in the daytime. Nobody's got videos of them in the daytime. Nobody does this. Nobody has this. Nobody has that. Yes, I do. I have right there in that bag, right there, I have hair samples. I have scat that came from Sasquatch. I have mine that I found here. Plus I have the one that I got in PA. My brother Josh hooked me up with a hair scat. I have hair and scat here. So, and all the pictures that you see in my room are all timestamped from the video. So if you see a picture in there and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool, go back and look at the video. There's a timestamp of it. Just look at the timestamp. Go to the video. Boom. Go into Facebook, or onto YouTube. Go to the timestamp go to the name of the video. Go to the time of the video, and look at it yourself. Just slow it down. You can go to settings. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like settings, and you go over to the thing where you slow the video down or whatever. I think it's like speed or something like that. And you can slow it down to the slowest setting, and then you can watch it frame by frame so you actually see it yourself. Okay, I made duck calls. Never thought make an owl call. Yeah, I got duck calls too. That I used to do too. I gotta do deer. I got deer. I had duck calls that I used to do when I was out there. This one here. But I stopped doing calls because I had stuff happen to me. Oh, there's that. No, we're blowing the wrong way. I don't know how to do calls or whatever, but yeah, I got a duck call. I have deer calls. See, duck blaster call. I have owl calls. I have buck calls. I tried all of them. I tried buck when I first started out to do calls like that. I tried duck calls when I was out there just playing around with them and trying to get the squatches to come in. Like I tried everything when I first started my channel. Like I go out there and not even film, just go out there to hang out. I go out there and I play music, for them to listen to, dance, I sing music. I sing to them out there. I mean, I do everything to interact with them guys. Like I go out and I just sit out there and might act like I'm reading a book or something, or I might just go out there and watch birds and squirrels. And I got, a couple of binoculars. They got the big ones and little ones, and I just sit out there and talk to them. I'll sit on the gifting tree and just sit there and talk to them. I know they're around, like I've had them behind me, just like in PA. The one was on the hill and was just eating, and I was looking behind the bush, and I would just eat, and I was watching me, and they kept doing it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna film it, So I filmed it, and then CP pointed it out, and she's like, oh, right there. I'm like, yeah, I know it's there. So I went live or whatever, and it was still sitting there. Okay, I'm doing wood turning. You are giving me ideas. Thanks. Yeah, somebody made wood turning. See these right here? The squatch knockers? I got that one there. Somebody made that out of wood churning. They made this. My buddy made me, the guy that made the tan one made the tan call and the other owl call there. And then somebody else, Squatch P, sent me this. This one's got the dog man on it. They say the grout door is Biggie on them. So if you're doing wood churning and you want to make me a squash knocker, I'll take another one because I like my squash knockers. They get beat up over the years. I did a native call in my SONGAA spot. Yeah, Mama did. She did a native call, and I said, hey, Mom, because Colton was asking her about, you know, native stuff, whatever. I was like, Mom, do your call or whatever. And she did it. And she had my dog. Man, my dog was looking at her like, he was like, he's trying to figure. He started running up and jumping around, and it had him going. So, and it's pretty neat. Her call is pretty neat. Like me, I mess around too. I do this. I do that, like that whistle out there, whatever, like a native whistle, whatever. I do that. So that was something to do. Muhammad, you're giving me big Texas energy. Do you ride horses to Walmart? Yeah, I ride horses to Walmart. My horse is a 6 horse. Mine's a V6. Question: has your protection bag ever been removed off your neck? Yes, it has. Halloween, I was going to the store after trick or treating and all that, and it was still Halloween, and my bag, it was cut, like it was cut, perfectly cut, and it was sitting down beside me, and my wife's like, I think your medicine bag just came off or whatever. She's like, I'm pretty sure it's your bag, and I reached over, and it was my bag. Luckily, I was in the truck, but yeah, it got snipped somehow. I don't know how. I showed it to Mom or whatever, and that was pretty creepy. And then I also had, when I went out to the hot spot, it's happened a few times, but the one spot I know of, there's a burn mark in it where it's got like singed or whatever, like they were trying to zap me or whatever, and the bag protected me because it singed the bag. My wife has a mark on her bag too where it happened to her, so I'm glad that I got her bag too for her when we went out. So let me see the other part of this. Been removed off your neck, and has it ever showed evidence? Yes. Like burn marks? Yes. Do something, try to attack you and stop, and it stopped? Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Sparky. I just explained that. I didn't even read the other part of your question. I already explained that. Yeah, my wife's bag too. She has a mark on it too, whatever, where it burnt her bag. So if you got a bad spirit or bad entity or whatever, they will burn your bag. The bag. Yeah, they try to, and keep an eye on your bag too. Like if you're doing hunts and all that, if you're doing investigations or whatever, because I don't know how it cut my bag off of my neck, man. It was weird. So, MT said he lost his bag like that. So I always check for mine. Like I wear it on the outside. That's why Mama says every now and then, make sure you smell it. Like if you ever get, like something that's frightening you or scaring you, whatever, just pick your bag up, take a deep breath, maybe get down on your one knee or whatever, take a knee and then just calm yourself down. Once you relax, just calm yourself and then get up and do your hunt. I live near the Main Street Market. I will make you a squash knocker if I can figure it out. Heck yeah. I know where it's at. Not too far. You're actually over by my castle. My mom took pictures. I love that castle on the corner. I've always wanted it ever since I was a little kid. So, you know what I'm talking about. You said you live over on that side of town. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I love that. It's my favorite spot. I've always wanted that castle ever since I was a kid. Mama said something about not that I'm aware of. 6 horse. Yeah, 6 horse. In other words, I got a V6 truck. That's right. Mama is always right. Yeah, Mama is always right. I know, but I never had the money to buy it. Believe me, I keep an eye on it. If I had the money, it wouldn't be up for sale. That'd be my new home. The only thing is I don't like it because it sits right on the corner, you know. Like I love the castle, don't get me wrong, but the location of it, like I'd rather it be like in the country or something. I guess if I was ever rich or whatever, I'd probably have it picked up and moved to the country land or something. So many people are confused on how to investigate. Could you explain to everyone how you feel is the best way and how you investigate? Oh, first thing, if you want to investigate and do an investigation, you have to get your boots dirty. You have to put your boots on the ground and stop asking everybody about, you know, if you go hunting, do you do this, do you do that? No. Thing is get out there and learn for yourself. Like me, I don't like to take people's advice too much or whatever, because I've took some people's advice or whatever. The best thing to do is to get out there and learn on your own, get your own experiences and all that. But I try to help people, just tell them that, they're not there to harm you and all that. But anyway, what I do is when I go to an investigation spot, I walk through whatever. Before I even get in or whatever, I can kind of sense stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I can sense if something's there, if something ain't. It's kind of like when I watch them on TV, like channels on TV, I can sense stuff. But I go there, I look for little signs. The little signs will be like big X's, little X's, bent trees. But you gotta be careful when you see like bent tree, like the trees that arch over, because there could be a tree that fell or whatever and knocked it over. So you got to look at them, because when they do theirs, it's kind of like they're like almost like free in a way, freestanding. Then I look for like main trails, I look for food, and I look for like signs of like kind of sustain a Sasquatch, and then I look for big trails, little trails, and I look for feet prints, and I look for little stuff like that. So if you're investigating an area, best thing to do is look for signs, like X's and tree structures and stuff like that. And that's how I investigate. But if you want to know that they're there, you don't have to look for tree structures. You don't have to look for X's. You can disregard all that. If you want to know they're there, just take a flashlight and go at nighttime. They're going to come out and show themselves. They're going to come up. They're going to come close enough to your flashlight. You're going to see the eye shine. You're going to hear the movement. You're going to hear it moving. You're going to hear it, like if you hear something paralleling you and it's following you, and there's going to be one on one side and there's going to be one on the other side. See, like when they parallel, there's always one on this side and there's always one on this side. And then usually you got one behind and then you got another one that stays in front. Because what they'll do is they'll go so far and then they'll stop, and then the other ones will be up farther, and then they're always, it's like one stays behind and one's in front, one's behind, one's in front, one's in behind. And then when this one gets in trouble, like say like you see it or it's boom, it's too close to you or whatever, the other one on the other side will throw something at you, or it'll make a noise or something, so you turn around to look at it, but it'll be hiding. That way this one can get away, and then they just keep, that's why they parallel. So if one's in trouble and you're too close, it'll make a noise, and then you'll look at that one, and then when you do, the other one scurries off. Same thing like orbs, or okay, I see. Everyone is different and has different claims or cryptic in their area. See, Mama says not all of them do the same, so like all of them are different. So same thing like orbs or spirits. There are many spirituals that walk on Mother Earth. Yeah, there's a lot of different spiritual stuff. Methods. Done types of methods to see what happens. So see, do you feel the best thing is to follow main investigation methods, or are you open to or do new or not done types of methods to see what happens? What I do is when I go into a hot spot, like when I go to a new spot, I'll get out there, I'll walk it, and I'll just glance. Like I'll look for prints in the trail, because prints stand out to me. Like I can see them. Like I got them eyes or whatever, and I look for. People don't really look for stuff like this, but if you want to, Sparky, I'll tell you a little thing that I like to do is when you see a trail, look for those tree breaks. Like there'll be about. See, I'm 6'2", so they're always about my eye height, and Sasquatches do them between like okay, say like if you had elk or moose or something, this would be different. So it's where you live at. So like bear and like your smallest game or like your biggest game. I mean, however tall the biggest animal is, look above the biggest animal, maybe a foot or so above the biggest animal, and then look for like little stick breaks. And the reason why is if you're walking down a trail and you see a stick break off to the right, that means there's a hideout right there. If you see it on the left side of a trail, that means there's a hideout onto the left side of the trail. So that means that they and I'm telling you, I've done this plenty of times. I've showed people more than once. I go down a trail, there'll be a stick break, boom, there's a hideout. I go a little farther, boom, there's a stick break, there's a hideout. That I noticed that they do is they put sticks, like there'll be a bush here or something, or like another bush, and there'll be a trail that goes there, and you're not really seeing the trail. They'll have a stick either in the ground sticking up that marks that trail, or they'll have a stick hanging just freely on a stick above the trail. So when you go in, you can go in, but if you go in and you hit the bush or whatever too hard or whatever, that stick will fall. Then they know something's been in there. So it's like a red flag. I've shown it more than once on the channel. So that's stuff I look for when I do hunts in different locations in different spots. It's just natural to me. I look for stuff like that because then I know that they're doing like I call it booby trapping, but it's not booby trapping. It's just something that they do natural that they do all the time. I look for stuff like that, and that's how I know they're in the area. Edison article, are the spirits trapped here instead of being able to move on? Okay. I feel like you have a very strong connection to native culture. Many of the internet say there are natives. Are you or okay saying the tribe culture are most connected to or influenced you? Um, my grandmother, she told me a story a long time ago when I was a kid. She said that she was Cherokee, but she was part of the tribe that was Cherokee and Blackfoot. There was a Cherokee and a Native on a Blackfoot that got together, and they, from different tribes. Well, they ran off and they started their own tribe. So my grandma used to tell me we were part Cherokee and part Blackfoot. I met Mama Bear Claw here, which took me in under her wing, and now that's my mother. She's from Blackfoot tribe. So she's from the Blackfoot tribe. So that's how you see me, like when I make stuff and all that. They say, was it made by a native? Well, I have native blood in me, so yes, it's made by a native. So if you're asking if I'm somewhat native, yes, I am. Plus, my dad was Irish and white, so I got that in me too. And my grandmother, which was his mom, was the Cherokee mixed with a little Blackfoot. And then if you go to my mother's side, um, we're from the Aztecs. So do I have native? Mm-hmm. Sparky over here. I'm asking you questions because I already know the answer to them. Whatever, just seeing if I was going to tell you the truth or not. I always tell the truth, bro. I don't try to lie about nothing. I try to keep it real. When I do my investigations, people are like, "Oh, that's boring. Oh, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I know people that ghost hunt and all that. That every time they go ghost hunting, they don't always have activity. They don't always have stuff going on. But I know when I step in that hot spot and I tell them to do this or do that or show themselves or hey, can you make a noise or can you do that? They're gonna do it, because they got the respect for me, like I got the respect for them. So they pretty much, they show themselves, they do what they want, they have fun. So it is a thing. Now, I don't even get peanut butter and jelly because I got Mama's burritos yesterday, and what I get tonight, well, I got a sandwich, but it wasn't peanut butter. It was lettuce, tomato. I cut up an avocado, squished it, and turkey meat on it on the tortilla. That's what I had tonight for dinner. While my wife was eating steak, mushrooms, I cooked them on the grill. Mushrooms with onion chopped up, real mushrooms, and then I garlic, and then I did steak seasoning, McCormick steak seasoning on her steak, and cooked it on the grill, and made her asparagus on the grill too. So I did that up for her. Why I had sandwiches pretty much, but I got full. I got some more red sauce and green sauce because Mama made me enchiladas. I mean, I got a bunch of other stuff too. I went shopping the day too and got some roast and chicken and potato, like a whole bunch of meats. But I'm thinking about having enchiladas maybe in a day or two. Yeah, I bet you don't get paid for not cooking and eating. I love to cook. But Mama came here, whatever, and she's like, I'm cooking. And I was like, well, I know how to cook. And Mama was like, nah, I'll do the cooking. And I think it's because, she wanted to show me how Mama cooks. But SONGAA did cook for Mama too. I grilled out for her, and Alicia made potato salad and macaroni salad, and SONGAA put the grill to use or whatever, and made some food on the grill, and we had a good time. We might have had a couple pizza nights or whatever where we just wanted to chill, but it is what it is. I got pizza one night, Mama got pizza one night. And she tried a couple of pizza joints here. We may or may not have ended up in the casino once. Took Mama out to check out our casino here. And we just hung out, had a good time chilling and getting used to each other and hanging out and doing what sons and moms do and just catching up. The tamale pie didn't last. No, the tamale pie did not last. The tamale pie, Mama made that. She says, I'll tell you guys. Anyway, Mom made that on her last night, right? And of course, SONGAA, I decided I was going to eat some, so I ate some more. Mama says, well, you can freeze the rest of it, son. I was like, freeze what? She's like, the rest of the tamale pie. I was like, Mom, the tamale pie, it didn't last because me and Chris, we tore it up or whatever. And I told Mom, I says, well, the reason why it went so quick or whatever, because that's my last supper or whatever. Because it was the last meal that she cooked, So I said, well, it got tore up, whatever, because that's going to be that's my last supper. Mama, she cooks pretty good. I mean, it was amazing. And the thing is the way Mama showed us how to cook her cooking, like some of the stuff that she showed us, that's a big hit up there. It was cheap and easy and simple to make. Like, and then out of that, when you make it, Mama was showing me like, you make like the beans or whatever, and then that's you got that to last for like a bunch of different meals, and then she showed us how to how to make stuff stretch. Like you can do this and this, and then you can cook this, and then you can make burritos with it. You can do over rice, or you can do it over whatever you want. Over some people like potatoes, you can do it over potatoes. You can do it. It was I know it's not on. I'm just talking smack. But yeah, she showed us how how to stretch it, or whatever. Like you can take your meals and use them over and over and do different things with them, and then if you cook enough of it, you can you know do extra meals with it. Which the burritos, I ain't gonna lie, the burritos. Chris, mom made 5 of them because that's what we had left. I gave Alicia a couple and Chris a couple. I had one, but man, I tell you, I could have probably smashed them all because they were fire. So I went out and got another one of them porks or whatever because Mama showed her son how to cook it. So, but if it doesn't come out right, it will. I'm just messing. It'll come out right. Plus, I got Mama. I can just call her up and say, hey, But I watched her. She showed me like how to do the rice, how she does it. I got a good memory. Like I don't forget stuff like that. And then she's like telling, explaining, because Alicia, she's more hands-on and all that. And she's like, well, you can do roast, or you can do this, or add beans, or chili, or I know what she's talking about because I can picture all that, But the way she did it, just doing the simple stuff, it was fire. There wasn't a meal that I didn't have that I didn't like, so you got smashed, that's for sure. It was good. But my favorite was I don't know how you say the names of all this stuff, so. But my favorite was the pork one. Question: what is your pack out for Bigfoot investigation? Medicine bag, water, food, items for people waiting to go out. Should they just go out, stay next to the cart, or? Okay, so what I like to do is I have 4 little flashlights that I can turn into red dot lights. So if we want to do where it's almost blacked out because we use the red lights, or we do blackout where we don't use no lights. I always carry extra flashlights. I have them 4. I have another one. I have 2 big ones, spotlight ones. I have the big spotlight. I carry 3 other flashlights and then another box flashlight, and these are all rechargeables. And then I got 2 single lights that are like this big, and then I have 2 big lights. And I carry all of them because they like to, in the wintertime, they drain all the batteries. So I like to carry that stuff. That's just the regular stuff I carry. I always carry baggies in case I see hair samples or scat or something. I find something that I want to put in the bag, whatever. I carry that. I carry gloves, rubber gloves. I carry a tape measure. Walkie-talkie, when I'm doing with other people, I take a walkie-talkie. But if I'm not doing with other people, that comes out. I have a stick, a nice stick that's a police baton that I take sometimes, whatever, that you can pop out or whatever. I don't carry that for them or nothing like that. I carry that case, if I'm out on another trail somewhere that I've never been or something, and somebody, is acting stupid and they need a little timeout, But I carry that. When I do investigations out, I bring my knife or whatever on my backpack. But just for me at the hotspot, just flashlights, the food I'm gifting them, and that's pretty much it. I might bring them a bell or something I throw in there, or some toys. But other than that, I don't really bring them. I don't really bring nothing else, for close to home investigation. But if I'm going out, I bring all that other stuff, if I'm going overnight and all that, I'm bringing hammocks, everything for the campground, down to bug nets for your head, gloves, mask, all that etc. stuff. So I have a bug out kit, and I also have a if I'm going on overnight and all that, I'll bring my smudge sticks, I bring sage, I bring all them, candy, yes, I take all that, water bottles, headlights, flashlights. Mama's pretty much putting it all in there, she knows, I got compasses, mat, yep, all that. I bring fire starters, I bring extra lighters, I got ones on my backpacks that are grenades, I got the flint ones, I have 5 of them on there, I have all different kind of knives on my other bug out bag. I have spoons, different kind of spoon sets, all different kind of knives. I bring knives, cutting boards, stuff to prep food. I bring like bags of rice, beans, because that stuff's real light. It's dried out. You don't have to worry about it. Getting messed up. I bring like ready food, ready hour food. Um, Plus like bags from the store, like breakfast, whatever, dry dehydrated stuff. I keep that in there. A lot of times I dehydrate like vegetables and fruits and all that before I go, so I already got stuff like that already ready to go. Biggie's beef jerky, and I always take Biggie squash chocolate because I gotta leave that for my friends because if not, they get kind of mad. So I would make sure I have Biggie squash chocolate and Biggie's beef jerky. And yes, I do leave them Biggie's beef jerky, but I leave them spicy batch. And I leave them non-spicy batch because not every Sasquatch likes hot. Not everybody likes hot. Not everybody likes spicy, or. But okay, let's see. Jerry's in here. Hi, Jerry. Tell them about the Santa coming up into my room. Okay. Mama tried to blow it off, saying that she bumped the gun safe or whatever and all that. 'Cause they have a gun safe in the room when Mama was here. I didn't take it out. I just left it over there. I told her I would, but she said it was fine. You guys can see it right in the corner there. But anyway, I was sitting on the couch and I heard a like banging around and like movement, and Mama, you could hear Mama on the bed. She snores a little bit, Mama Bear called, she was snoring or whatever, so I knew she was sleeping. There was a dog in here too that was right around sitting in the cage, which was Jackie's dog that was sleeping here. But her dog, when it was around, you can hear it moving around because you can hear the cage clunking or whatever. But anyway, the noises I heard the door. Here, I'll show y'all. Let me plug this so I can move a little bit. The door right here. I heard this. You hear that? You can hear the door do its little jingle. And I heard this right here, like over here where the gun safe is. You can hear this. You hear that? I heard that, the noise or whatever, and Mom tried to say she kicked it or whatever. But nah, because I heard something messing with it, and then I heard noises or whatever, so I knew her friend was in here with her. And I told her, I said, yeah, I heard your friend come last night to visit you. And she was like, no, that was me. I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it was your friend in there. Because Mama was sawing logs. Yeah. I know where the pillows are, she was sleeping. So there was no way for her to kick that. Or in the arm length, I got a longer arm length than Mama. I can't lay on the bed and touch that gun safe just by putting my hand off the bed. You have to lean over to touch it. So I know she didn't hit it, so. But it was in here messing around, playing and all that in here in the room or whatever while she was sleeping. I heard the walker move too or whatever. I heard it was playing with it, like how kids drive cars and stuff. I can hear it playing with stuff in here, moving around and all that. And it was pretty neat. The Indian giver took the bag. Oh, you want me to tell him about? I can tell him about that. Somebody brought a bag of candy here. You guys know who came? They brought a bag of candy. Said, oh, well, they gave it to the bag of candy to Mama. Then they turned around and Indy gave it back to me to give it to the Squatches. Well, then when they left, they took the whole bag of candy. So that's not a thing to do. You don't tell them that this is for you or whatever, or this is for and then you take it back because the Sasquatches, they won't forgive you. They don't like that. They don't like you giving them something and taking it back. So, but somebody did that when they were here. I was just telling them to stop playing around. I'm trying to sleep. Yeah, they were in here, and I know mine come up in here too. Like they come to the house and they visit me and all that. The other night I was in the kitchen, and you know how like when you see a shed, like when you like there's the window and it's got the glare on it, and you can see movement inside your house like if it's you. Well, this was weird. The screen is on one side and the window's on the other side. So in the screen, I seen like the mirror image because I seen the Squatch in the window, but it went down like really slow, like it was moving. and it came down, but it dug down below the window, but it did it really slow. And I said, I see you. You don't have to do that. And then they don't pop in or whatever, and then you catch them every now and then. They're always in the window, but it cracks me up. They have impressions in my screen where you can see their face pressed in it, like the one that's like this, like the big one. You can see like half of his eyes. So in the window or whatever, let me see if I can get like this. In the window, you see this part, like this part here, and then the nose is pressed up in the screen, so you see like this. So this is the window. You see this into the screen, and then there's another one. You can see the whole face is pressed up into the screen. It's kind of neat, but it's pretty cool. But yeah, it was going pretty decent, whatever. For the most part, like when Mama was here and all that, we had a good time and all that. I mean, somebody else obviously didn't have too much of a good time. They left early and all that, so I don't know. I don't know what the issue was with that, but they rolled out and blocked me. I try to make everybody that comes here feel welcome, I didn't make nobody feel out of place. Yeah, Biggie jokes, like I do on camera. I joke off camera. I'm the same person on as the same person off. Mama is the same person on and the same person off, because when she was here, the way we talk to each other on FaceTime, the way we talk on the channel, she's the same person on the channel and the same person off the channel. So I told her I don't change for nobody. She told me she doesn't change for nobody. She's the same on and off. So if you see us out in public, we are the exact same as we are on channel and off channel. So I told her straight up, I'm the same dude on and the same dude off. Just that when when I'm on the channel, if you don't want to hear me, you can turn the channel off. When you're around me, someone who likes to joke and have a good time and make you laugh, and I try to make you feel welcome. And then about the third day, I mellow out and I chill out. Like when Mom was here, about third day, I calmed out with all the hardcore joking and all that. But there was every day I crack a joke or whatever, get a laugh. I did it with the other person that was here too. I joked a lot, so those are nice prints. Yeah, the ones behind me. Yeah, yeah, they're pretty decent. That one there was a gift from Squash Topic PA on my birthday. That one up there. This one here is the Dogman print that I casted in PA. That's the 21-inch print down below me there I casted, and then I got the baby print on this side on the shelf, and then I got a couple other things like the dog, the coyote that I casted, and I think it's a wolf print, but it's close to between a wolf and a dog, and then the other one's kind of like a dog print. Well, I think one's a wolf print, one's a coyote print. That's just me. And then the turkey print at the top. But yeah, they are nice prints. Josh casted that one up there. That one's really pretty because it's got the good toe definition and all that. And the one up here, it's got 6 toes in it. It's really good. The baby print I casted in PA has 6 toes. This big boy down here is 6 toes. The dog band's 4 toes, but that's a double print. There's 2 prints in one on this, and there's baby squash prints in there too. So like the baby was riding the dog, and then the dog stopped, and then the baby got off, and you can see the print where the baby got off. But they are pretty nice prints. And I don't do this for fame, the channel. I'm not trying to make millions of dollars. Granted, money does help buy equipment, but I don't do it to ask for money. I try to get people that ask, like, hey, well, I need flashlights and all that when I first started. But over time, I'm upgrading. I'm getting stuff. I'm getting more flashlights. I'm getting, like I bought the microphone, I find stuff at yard sales, thrift stores. I like secondhand stuff, guys. Like, if it works, it works. Ain't no shame in the game if you spend a couple dollars, or if you spend $250 for the same thing you get for $7 at a yard sale, But if the channel's growing, I'm getting more and more equipment. Stuff comes and goes. Stuff gets broke. Nothing lasts forever. It is what it is, though. But I'm not going to ask for money once I get big. If I do ever become big, I'm not asking for no money. I'm not I mean, people want to donate. That's up to them. I'm not asking them to do that. I don't ask them to. I'm not gonna ask people like that. But the only thing I do is whatever we make out of the channel gets invested right back into the channel. So just say if I was big and popular and I made $16,000, we're gonna have some nice drones. They're thermal drones like they use for search and rescue. Like I looked at all sorts of stuff, like the ones you hook to the cable and they stay up there and they hover forever and all that. Oh yeah, we have all that kind of stuff. We get all the cool fancy equipment, but it's later in life. But that's if I become big, but I'm not gonna charge people. They're like, well, you're not gonna make no money if you charge them. Yeah, you will, because your followers or whatever and all that, your people that are with you, your family, your community, your community that you built together or whatever, they'll help you out. They don't have to feel the need to subscribe to your channel or all that. So I'd rather share with everybody. I'm not out there to be, YouTube famous and rich like some people. I do it just for the fun of it. That's why I don't try to fake nothing. I don't try to stage nothing. I am who I am and I do what I do, And evidence shows. So, like, I could stop today. Like, I could literally just quit my channel today because I have enough evidence. I have enough stuff. I've already proved that they're real. I'm not taking a body, so we can skip that, but, so you don't matter bit stuff, any stuff, it works. It works, yeah. Yeah, like I'm saying, yeah, good stuff, bad stuff, yard stuff, it don't matter to me, as long as it works. And then if it don't work, I might be able to make it work, so. Sometimes it's just a little tinkering with a wire or something, or soldering something back together or something to get it to work, I'm used to tinkering with stuff too, so. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and smash the like button. Right on. Yep, I do me, man. I am who I am, and I don't change for nobody. And when I first started the channel, I like to joke around more, and everybody's like, nobody's going to take you serious, dude. You joke too much. You play too much. That's just me. But I just chill that out. So now what I do is I do it off camera and all that. I go out and play with them and joke with them and all that, get them interact, I build a bond with them. See, people that do investigations, they just go to this spot, to that spot, to this spot, to that spot. You're not really building a bond. But if you got activity and you know they're there, stay at the spot, whatever, keep going there and build a relationship with them, build a bond with them. Once you build a bond, then, there's nothing better than building a bond with them, to me. Like, I've been trying to get people to camp, let's camp the spot. And not too many people want to camp. Once they get out there, they're all like, oh, there ain't no thing to Sasquatch, there ain't this. And then you get out there and they hear noises and they hear them running by, and then they got stuff to get thrown at them, and they hear the whoops and the knocks and the grunts, and like Chris goes out, we've got I'm telling you right now, because I ask people all the time, I probably shouldn't tell this on the channel because, that's how I can tell fakes from reals and all that. But when a Sasquatch hollers, I don't care if you're in the back 40 or if you can hear the holler, and I'm not making this up, wherever you're at, when they scream, you will feel it in your soul, in your gut. It will literally, you will feel the pressure. Almost like somebody sitting on your chest from one of them screaming. And I've had them scream when they were across the street. I've had them scream when they were down there, like way off on the other end. And I'm telling you, when they let out that holler, and you can hear the holler, and you can hear, when you hear it, you know it's them because you can feel it in your chest. Don't forget that. Oh, I already said that. LOL. I am a goof. I got your. My phone guys. The investigations are like first responders. We have to let out the fear, frustration, etc. with humor. Yeah. See, that's what people don't understand though. Like, if you're doing an investigation or whatever, a lot of times if we, like me, if I'm talking a lot, that's because you get on edge when you're by yourself. And then I guess when you talk, when you're doing your live, it's like people are with you. So in my mind is like the more I talk to you when I'm doing my live stream, it's like you guys are all with me. So it's like something happens to me, I have all y'all there. So it's almost like y'all are right there with me. So like when I'm doing the live and I'm walking through there and I got the camera, it's almost like I'm not alone. I got people with me, but technically I am really alone, but I'm not alone because I have you guys with me. But in my mind is that you guys are with me, so I'm not alone. If that makes any sense. But yes, they scare you from time to time. Yes, they do stuff. Yes, they're unpredictable. Like I tell people, I did a short. The last short I uploaded, it might have been the second short now because I think I did another one when Mom was here. But anyway, the short or whatever, when something flies over me or whatever, I was watching the Mothman the night before. And then when I got out to the hotspot, I was thinking about the Mothman or whatever. I was like, man, it'd be kind of cool to see a Mothman. And then the Sasquatch jumps from one tree to the other, and all you hear is, and then then you hear it hit the tree. Man, only thing I could do was just look up, like, oh man, like, you know, like it, to me it was awesome. You know, it's like it was amazing, but to hear it, whatever, it'll freak you out. You know, like if you ain't expecting it, it was creepy or whatever, but in a way, in a sense, it was amazing too, you know, because they did the imitation. Like if you're thinking of something in your mind, like say like if you got a fear or something, they'll mimic it, they'll imitate it. They'll, like me, when I kept going to the hot spot or whatever, I kept thinking of the it, and then I think that they were trying to mimic, like they know you're afraid of, so they'll make themselves sound like it and all that. They'll mimic it or whatever to try to get you, you know, to mess with you. So when you go there, clear your mind, have an open mind, and don't think of crazy stuff, because if you're thinking of weird stuff, they'll mess with you. I'm freezing up a little bit. So if you go out or whatever, clear your mind or whatever, because if you're thinking, like, say, like, you're afraid of frogs, or you're afraid of snakes, or you're afraid of alligators, or you're afraid of whatever you're afraid of, you're afraid of monkeys, whatever. You know, if you're afraid of something, they'll probably mimic it. They'll probably try to, you know, act like it or something. You know, they'll probably try to make a noise to scare you. They do that with me, so I imagine if they do it with me, they do it with you. Anybody got anything else they want to ask or anything like that? Like, I've had weird stuff happen to me, like the whole time I've investigated and all that. You know, guys, like, you know, a lot of crazy stuff over the few years I've only been doing it. Like I tell people when I was 13, I know Sparky probably, because you're, you know, I ain't really talk to you like that, but when I was 13, and what really got me is I was out at Fort Custer, which is a national forest, and it's right up the road from our house. Back in the 80s or whatever, they had a Sasquatch that they cornered, the military did out there and all that, and the police, they surrounded it and all that. And anyway, the story was they shot at it. It ran up on the hill. The other ones were throwing big rocks and boulders at the people, and then they just stopped and let it go. But anyway, when I was a kid, my dad come back and he woke me up. He says, "You got to come and check this out." It was nighttime, but it was like a full moon. Like it was like bright outside, but it was dark, if you know what I mean. So it was like lit up by the moon. He says, "You got to come and see this." And he takes me, and we walk for a long time, and we get out to these silos, and he says, "All right, now don't go in the field where the moonlight was like when you see the field, it was like daytime in a way. It was all lit up." And my dad says, "Stay in the dark inside the tree line, in the shadows. Don't go out into the light. Just stay in the tree line." I'm like, okay, I understand what you meant. You know. And then he says, "Do you see him?" And I said, "Nah." He goes, "The tall creature's over there. Do you see him?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't see him." I'm looking on the ground for like somebody walking or whatever. I'm thinking that they're in the field. And my dad says, "Where are you looking?" I said, "On the ground." He said, "No, look in the tree." And I'm like, "Look in the tree?" And the next thing you know, it was like the zoo. You know how when the monkeys chase each other from tree to tree and they're going up the tree and down and chasing each other. And they're pulling the branches like way down and then they're swinging off the branch to the next tree. Like that's what they were doing. And they were just chasing each other from tree to tree to tree to tree. And they're going up and down, up and down all over these trees. And you can see them. They're full fit. They literally look like monkeys at the zoo is the way to describe it. The way that they were chasing each other. But they were huge. And my uncle, I remember my Uncle Mark was with us, and he says, "Oh, that's military." And my dad's like, "Yeah, that's military. They're really going to be jumping like that, going from tree to tree, swinging in, swinging down on one and pulling and jumping from another tree. Military is really going to do that. You make really good sense." He's like, "Yeah, it was probably some new technology they came out with." My dad's like, "We ain't got no technology like that. This is in the 80s, somewhere around the 80s or 90s. He's like, "They ain't got no," oh, this was the 90s because the 80s was when they had the first sighting. He said, there ain't no technology like that. So I'm watching this, and there's 3 of them doing it. And then my dad's like, "Look at that down below." And I didn't see it. He kept saying, "There's bigger ones down on the ground, bigger ones." He's like, "Look." And he's telling my uncle to look. My uncle's like, "Well, I'm going to go look." My dad and them, they had their ninja suits on because they like to play in their ninja suits because that's what they did. But anyway, they sneak up. They stay right inside the tree line. It goes all the way down on the end of the field. And my uncle goes up there. And then my dad's standing there with me. And my uncle and my other uncle, they both take off and they go that way. And my dad's like, "Well, I'm going to go get your uncle before he gets killed." So he goes and gets my uncle because my uncle gets like really close to him. And they're not seeing my uncle because he's all blacked out in his ninja suit. And my dad goes up there and he has to drag him back. Like, "Dude, you got to come. That's not military. These are real creatures." And he brought him back, whatever. But that was the first time I ever seen him, whatever. And we used to find tracks. We used to find deer ripped open and like legs broke or whatever. My dad used to say, "Oh, it's Sasquatch, it's Sasquatch." And me being a kid, I was just laughing at him all the time. Like, dude, there's no such thing as Sasquatch. But when I seen him, I was a believer. It changed my mind. It changed my lifestyle. But I accepted them, it's me being like, instead of being scared of them, I accepted them to be like, I'm not going to be scared of them. Like, to me, it was gorgeous to see them do it for one. It was amazing. Like, I was like, wow. But then again, I wanted to tell people. And my dad said, "Don't go telling people because if you tell people, they're going to think you're crazy. They're going to think that they're going to lock you away, dude. You're going to go to a nut hospital. They're going to think you're nuts." And so I didn't tell people. But I remember one time I slipped up and told my friend, and he started laughing and he started teasing me and all that. And then I found out that my dad was right. Like, you can't tell people this. They're going to think you're nuts. So I kept it inside me. But I told myself that I wouldn't be scared or whatever because to me, I was fascinated. But I never hunted them or nothing. And then I was watching ODU one day, and he was like, "You know what? Anybody can do this. If I can do it, you can do it." I was like, "You know what? I think I could do it." And then that's how I started my channel. That's how I'm here today. But it was pretty neat, pretty cool. Now I'm hooked. Can you mimic the baby? Can you mimic like baby singing? The babies usually do like a whoop whoop. They whoop. They like whoop, or they do the. It sounds like a bird, or you hear them. They're kind of like, it's almost like a raccoon. The best way to do it. It's like when you hear them, they're chattering or whatever. They're like, you can hear them. They're like, it's like a little chirp. It's like, it's all like a bunch of chirping, going off when they're talking to each other. They talk fast, and you can't really understand them. But me, when I hear it, I don't know why I do this. It's just something that happens. I hear them talking, And then me, I'll just be like, oh, okay, all right. You want to do what? It's almost like I can like hear him and understand him, but my mind just tells me just okay, like almost like I can hear him talking or whatever. So it's kind of creepy to me or whatever, but I can kind of like hear him. But yeah, it's kind of creepy, whatever to me, whatever. Like I don't know, like little stuff creeps me out, or whatever, somewhat. And then like I hear voices or whatever, like I hear him talking, and then that's kind of amazing. And then it's like I cannot like understand him somewhat, and like it comes across my mind. Yeah, the military never had stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't military. I knew it wasn't military. Military didn't have stuff like that. But the legs breaking or whatever, we found out that it wasn't the military that was doing the leg. It wasn't the Sasquatches that or the military that was doing leg breaks. I think it just fell off a cliff or whatever. Okay, let's see. But yeah, military whatever didn't have nothing in that kind of technology or whatever, so I knew it wasn't military. So that was kind of neat. Like there was no nothing. My dad knew that too. We didn't have no military stuff like that because we had uncles and stuff in the military, and my uncle would have told us stuff like that. Even like because they talk to their brothers or whatever. My uncle talks to my dad all the time, so he would have been like, "Oh, dude, we got this and this and this," even though they're not supposed to talk about it, but they're brothers. They talk about everything, so he would have mentioned something. But yeah, we had no technology like that. It was pretty neat though. Like I said, the best way to describe it was like that. And then I've seen them from time to time, whatever. It's weird though how you see them, whatever, because it's almost like I say ghost hunting or whatever. Like if you get into Bigfoot hunting, I like to do the paranormal and the Bigfoot because when they can cloak and disappear and all that, and it's almost like a spirit, like a shadow, like a ghost. So I kind of put both of them together. So I'm like Bigfoot and paranormal. I like to do both. I like to do paranormal stuff and I like to do Bigfoot hunting, but I also like to mix them together. So I like to do paranormal Bigfoot hunting because of the other aspect, because of the limb cloaking and all that. So I like to put both of them together. Yeah, I think a lot of that to do with this too is the track thing or whatever. They leave tracks or whatever, but um, I've seen them do this, and I don't know if you do investigations like that, if you've seen it or not. But what I've seen is they'll go or whatever. They'll be like Bigfoot form, and then all of a sudden they'll go into an orb, a ball, and then they'll float away. So that's how they're not leaving tracks. That's how you go to a track and it just gone, it stops. It's because when you go to the track, they go into an orb form and they go. Now, I also had this happen to me when I was a kid too. I was following like a wolf-like creature, which I was following the prince, and then it turned into a human, which would turn into a native. I'm just going to be real. It turned into a native with a half buckskin around his waistband or whatever. And it was a human. It was a male because of the way the leather went around just his bottom half. It took 4 steps and then it vanished and went into like fairy dust. It looked like the Disney, how the fairy does that little magical dust. That's what it looked like in real life. Happened to me when I was young. My dad said that was my Uncle Anthony because he always told me he was going to come back in spiritual, and he was always my Uncle Anthony was always real big into the native side of our family. He always wore his hair long. He wouldn't cut it. He'd wear feathers in his hair. He spoke our native language. He He spoke English too, but he would like when he messed with people or whatever, he'd act like he couldn't speak English. Um, I remember him taking us out when I was a kid. He had this old blue truck that had the foot pedals or whatever. That had the foot that were the gas pedals and brake pedals. And he would tell us, he turned the headlights on brights, and he said, "Get out of the car, and you guys go play in front of the headlights, go dancing around and howling at the moon." So he had us out there at 3 o'clock in the morning. We'd be out there, oh, howling at the moon or whatever. And was what he called it, howling at the moon. And he'd be sitting on the back of the truck, and he'd have his gun. Well, come to find out, he was using us for bait to coyote hunt and all that, and wolf hunt. I didn't know no better. I was a kid. But I love that man to death. He said that he would be my guardian angel for life, that he would protect me. And he taught me a lot of good stuff, like how to track and how to look for tracks. And he was a good man. I miss him. But he was always one with nature, and he always believed if you shoot an animal, you have to respect that animal. You have to give it thanks for dying. You have to use all of it. You don't waste nothing. So we'd make stuff out of bones. We'd make stuff out of all of it. The fur, we wouldn't waste nothing. Like the guts and all that, he would, he'd give it back, to other creatures to eat and all that. But he would use like most of the stuff to make and eat, so he didn't waste too much anything. But he was a good man. I learned a lot from him. Like, oh wow. Is there someone in the room? I keep hearing someone just hear a kind of sound. Is it like a whimpering sound, like a like that? Is that what you're hearing? Or you mean like somebody talking? That's my dog. He's at the door and he's whining. I'll let him in. Come on, bud. Come here, bud. Up here. No, you're not throwing my stuff over. Now, come on, now. Come here. Get up here. Get up here. No, not up there. Up here. Come here. Come and say hi. Well, anyway, meet him here. There he is. A little whiner. That's Corona. He's a little whiner. If he's away from me too long, he whines. Goes a little fit. So he's out there at the door whining. Because, he's got to be in here with me. He's got to be at my duty. And then I have another dog too, whatever. But when Mama was here, he didn't want nothing to do with me. He was all over Mama. Like, he was over her. Like, he followed her everywhere. He was guarding her, protecting her. And I told him her feet were hurting, whatever. So we'd go to the store and stuff while she was here and all that, and do like go and get stuff. And she'd be like, "Well, I just want to rest or whatever." I said, "That's fine. Go ahead." I tell him, I said, "Now, you better watch her and guard her with your life or whatever, and get paid for what I pay you to do." And Mama started laughing because I feed him, so I'm telling him, you better earn your keep. But yeah, he was all over her. He'd sit there and whine at the door, and she'd open up the door and let him come in the room with her. And now he's up on the bed, laying there, smelling the bed. He misses her already. Which is kind of funny because my wife or whatever, he don't do that to my wife. He's not like that with her. Don't get me wrong, he'll guard the house and stuff, he'll protect her and all that. It's just that he's not all up on her all the time like that, like he was with her. Yeah. And then when Mama would cook, she'd make the dogs a plate too. Yeah, yes, my boy. Everybody's like, you should take him out with you when you do an investigation. I don't want to get the dogs fighting, the dog man and him, or he runs off or whatever, gets loose or something. And, you know, I don't think they wouldn't hurt him because they know that he's mine, so they won't hurt him or nothing like that. But it's when I first started or whatever, I wouldn't have took him out. But now I feel comfortable, like I could take him out, but I just don't want to take him out because then he'd be dragging me, or I'll have to worry about him. And, you know, he'll basically be a handful and be in the way, and then I'll be sidetracked from the investigation. A lot of times I say hunt. I don't mean like hunt. I just mean like we're going on a hunt, like to the spot. But I mean investigation. But yeah, and plus none of that, you know, they'll just get in the way. And like if I was camping out there or something like that, I'd take him, you know, because then I can put him on, you know, hook him up. Like he'll stay around me or whatever, you know. I don't mind him doing like that, or whatever. Plus, at nighttime he'll be like up around you, like in the camp or whatever, and he'll let you know something's there. Like dogs can sense it, like they'll know before you even know. And but then again, they've been getting used to the Sasquatches because they're always here. So who knows? They're getting used to the smell. They're getting used to them being in the window. The one cat plays with the other one in the window because I catch the young, like 3-foot one. He'll pop his head up in the window and he'll be doing this and doing like another nan like this with his head in the way, like his body like this. It almost looks like nan, and he's messing with the cat. Or he'll tap on the window and he'll be messing with the Siamese cat in the window. He'll be playing with it, and then all of a sudden I'll look over there and I'll see him, and then he'll duck down. I'm like, dude, I already seen you. You might as well just keep doing what you were doing. like I tell people too, whatever. I got out of the shower one day and I went in my room to get dressed. I came out in the towel and I went in there and I was putting on my clothes. I had put on my boxers and all that, you know. And I was somewhat dressed, and I smelled the smell when I walked in the room. And I know the smell because I smell it all the time. But anyway, I the fan was like this, whatever, but it was sitting long ways. So I had reached over like this. I went over like this, and I looked right in the window and to see if I could see the Squatch. So anyway, we're face to face in the window looking at each other. And I'm just looking at it. It's just looking at me. And I'm like talking to it. And I'm like, you know I can see you, right? You know you're not cloaked, right? And then it's just looking at me. I'm looking at it. And then it came across my mind, well, wow, if it really wanted to get me, we're face to face. It could just snatch me through the screen, you know? And then all of a sudden I hear bing, bing, like a boom, boom behind me or whatever. So my dummy, you know, I tell everybody don't fall for it. You still fall for it because even though I know, I still fell for it. I went, turn back around, gone. But yeah, we were face to face, and I was telling it, I was like, you know, SONGAA loves you, and all that. And I was like, why don't you ever talk back to me? You know I can see you. You know you're not clothed. I don't get why you guys don't ever talk back. Like you ever say anything to me or hi or anything. And I want to be able to talk to you like, you know, face to face. And it's like, well, we're face to face right now. But I'm like, but you're not saying nothing. You're just staring at me. You're just looking at me. You're not saying nothing. And then I was thinking the other thing, and then sidetracked, boom, it was gone. That's a true story. Really happened to me. So we came home from getting groceries the other day before Mama came down, and me and the wife was in the kitchen, and you can hear them going up and down the stairs. Boom, 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 boom. You can hear them jumping. Boom, 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 boom. There's nobody in my attic. I mean, we had cats, but the cats weren't up there at the time. Because we put the cats up there because the males or whatever, the females are all in heat, and we don't want the females knocked up, so we put the males up there, put their food and litter dish and all that up there in water, and I let them run the attic because it's a full attic as it is the house. The attic's the same size, and it's pretty nice up there, so we put them up there, and we get the bang, 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 or whatever, and all that, and we hear that, and we come in, and then all of a sudden we make noises in the kitchen. I can't remember, we dropped the bag or something, or my girl closed the freezer or something like that. I think the lid to the freezer, and said boom, and like said boom, and right after she did that, it all went dead quiet. We didn't hear nothing else. They're like, oh, they're home. And then me and her are standing there, and we're getting ready to take care of a couple more groceries that go in the cupboards. And I turn around from where the bathroom is, and she turned around, and coming from the window where the cabinet is, boom, right between both of us, it was like almost like a mist, like a bat. It like flew into the wall, went into the wall, and then up into the attic. And you could hear it go up the stairs of the attic. And I looked at her, she looked at me, and she said, now, you seen that, right? And I'm like, well, yeah, I didn't want to say nothing because I'm not scared, because I see this stuff all the time. And she doesn't really pay attention like that, so she doesn't really. She was like, you seen that, right? I'm like, yeah, you talking about the bat? And she was like, that wasn't no bat. She's like, it looked like a bat figure, but it wasn't a bat. She said it flew into the wall, the bathroom wall, and I know you seen that, and you can feel the gust of it go by. And I wasn't trying to scare her or nothing, so I didn't say nothing. I just left it alone. And crazy stuff's happened to me in my life, though. When I first moved in, that's why I said I had a spirit come up the basement at me before I had a basement door. I was cooking at the stove. It said right by me, whatever. You can feel all the little gusts of wind and the little fringes coming off from it. I said, if you ever do that again, you will not live in this house. You are not going to jump out at me or come flying up at me like that and scare me like that. And then after I said that, that day that it happened to me, I've had them peek around corners. I've had them, the whole figure walk by, but nothing like rushing at me like that. So yeah, it's like a little spider web static feel. Yeah, you feel the fringe, like the little hair or whatever, like hair. It's like almost like spiders or something crawling across you, go across you. You feel that brush across you. Well, anyway, anybody else want to talk about anything? We've been on here for a few hours now. We just got on here just to hang out. We ain't done it in a while, so like I said, I don't think I'm going to upload this video to YouTube or whatever. So this is just for members only that got on. So people watching right now. Never seen a Bigfoot, but I did see this weird cat creature that I've never seen anywhere talked about, or I've never seen ever before. The mine. I have cat-looking creatures in my hotspot too, bro. I don't talk about them that much either, though. But I have pictures of them in the group room, in the private room. I was told through people like when I asked about them and all that, they're just another type of a Bigfoot or whatever. So I was told that there's more than like one kind of like, we got ones that look kind of like alien creature style or whatever, and then there's some that look like cats, some that look like different. They look different. They're all different, unique in their own way. Okay, Mama says she wants me to upload a video, so I guess we're uploading the video to YouTube. I guess, yes, ma'am. I guess we'll be uploading it then. But yeah, I've had a cat-looking creature too a few times I've caught, and then it's kind of funny because they hang out with the Bigfoots or whatever, the cat-looking creatures. So I know what you're talking about. I've seen a few looking creatures like that. The owner said that it was a coyote, which I know what a coyote looks like, and it was not a coyote. See, that's what people say too. They tell me that, oh, they said it was a bear, or they said it was this, or they said it was that. And then, come on now, if you live in the area and you've seen animals, you know what the animal looks like. And if you've seen something different, you've seen something different. I mean, no question there, because I've seen weird cryptid creatures too. So all different kinds. So I've seen like a cat. Like I got pictures. Like I'm not joshing you. I can go and pull the pictures up, and I can show you pictures of literally a cat-looking creature that I've caught in the hot spot around the Suntungas and the dog man and all that. They're all in the pictures. There's like an alien-looking creatures too, whatever, but it's different forms of Bigfoots. They got different types. The cat was actually eating dogs and other cats. Hmm? I believe that too. I believe that too. There's different creatures that eat different stuff, like you got the hellhound and then you got that other one, the chupacabra that's supposed to eat like pig blood or something like that or whatever that what's that one? I guess they call it the hellhound. No. The Jersey Devil. I think that's the one that eats pig blood or something like that. Yes, there are many spirits of nature that can take that form, yeah. And then you got different things that can shift different forms too. Good information. Thank you, Mom. Okay, before you go, I just wanted to say I remember one time there is the Science Channel that caught a half man, half goat creature, and the science community was talking about it. A half man and half goat. I've heard something like that, and then we know about the Minotaur. Everybody talks about that. It's a half like uh, ox-looking creature, whatever. So there's all different kinds. You get in the Egyptian stuff too, whatever. There's all the different creatures. So, so yeah. So yeah, there's different. Like Mama says, it shifts into a dog. It goes into a fox. They change form. Yeah. They were saying I was watching this one person, whatever, said that they watched a Bigfoot go into a white albino deer because they know they're sacred where they live, which I've seen white albino deer, but they're sacred in certain spots, whatever, like the white ones, and they can't kill them. So it goes into a white deer or whatever, and then it shifts back into a Bigfoot. So it wasn't Alaska. I love Alaska. Or Antarctica, and yeah, people were wondering how this was even possible because the guy was not wearing a shirt. So if it was a prank, it wouldn't be possible for him to be in that. Yeah, plus Alaska, whatever, that's cold, whatever. So a person playing a prank is not logic. So what they seen is what they seen. And like I said, I've seen creatures or whatever, these cat-looking things before, or whatever. So. Like I said, I don't think it was they're just another form of a Bigfoot or something. Like they look kind of like a cat face. Brother, a couple of years later, there was no trace of. Yeah, so that means that the government removed it and took it down, which happens. I went back to look for one of my videos or whatever because I found a cryptid in there or whatever. I went back to look for it or whatever, and it was I couldn't find the video either, so they take down videos. I think if they're not real popular or something like that, or people ain't watching them a lot, or if they're overpopulated, they go in and they're like, "Why is people watching it?" And then they catch on, and then they just remove it. So, and usually if it comes back out, it's because somebody else saved the video because they seen it too, and then everybody keeps putting the video back out there. Everybody keeps saving it, and then it keeps popping back out there. But. Okay, let's see. A couple more questions and I'll get off. When I tried to okay, I read that. I would disagree with yes. Yeah, see a cat or dog not acting like a cat or dog. Issues, LOL, like Mama said. Yeah, so I said they do like I've seen this creature out there, whatever. I've had weird stuff happen. I've had this thing that the only way to describe it, I guess, is human like was pushing a bike, whatever, with a flashlight, and then all of a sudden it vanishes, and then all of a sudden I seen it go to the top of the hill one day, and it went to the left, and there was snow up there, and whatever, so you had seen tracks and all that. And it wasn't snowing, so, but we were leaving tracks, so it had to leave tracks, and there was no tracks, so that it went to the left, or whatever. Me and my wife seen it move left, and I can't explain it, so. It's weird stuff happens to me all the time. Like when me and Chris seen the dog man four of them running up along the field or whatever. We went to look for tracks or whatever, and there was mud through there and all that, and they weren't leaving tracks. So, I don't get stuff that happens either. So, I don't know. My dog was looking up at the ceiling or whatever, and I heard something up above us, and he's looking up there, and I'm looking up there, and something in the attic doing something. It sounded like buzzing and tapping, and now I heard like a it was some kind of weird scream. Now I hear him scratching. I know. I don't know what it is either, so settle down. You know what it is? Huh? You're going to look up there and whine, but what is it? But you know there's something up in the attic? You can go. You can be brave and go up there. Want to be brave and go up there? You gonna shake your head no? Right on. No? You're gonna snort too? Alright, lay down and chill out. You're shaking the bed. Okay. Thanks for the chat, Biggie, and everyone in the chat. Stay safe and have a good night. CP Lane. Many blessings, everyone. Good night. Okay, it's time. Okay. Alright, guys. Well, this is Biggie, the Great Outdoors Biggie YouTube channel. Check us on the Facebook group. Check us on the Facebook group at the Great Outdoors Biggie. And you can also check us on Facebook at the Great Outdoors Biggie. I'll keep us watching if you keep a watching. Love y'all. This is SONGAA, aka Biggie. Peace.